Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci, perhaps the most famous portrait in history, known for her enigmatic smile. Starry Night, Vincent van Gogh, a swirling night sky over St. Remy, symbolizing emotion and turbulence. The Scream, Edvard Munch, expressionist masterpiece representing existential angst. The Last Supper, Leonardo da Vinci, Jesus' final meal with disciples, dramatic composition. The Persistence of Memory, Salvador Dali, surrealist painting with melting clocks, symbolizing the fluidity of time. Girl with a Pearl Earring, Johannes Vermeer, often called the Mona Lisa of the North, a masterful portrait. Guernica, Pablo Picasso, powerful anti-war painting depicting the horrors of the Spanish Civil War. The Birth of Venus, Sandro Botticelli, mythological scene of Venus emerging from the sea. The Creation of Adam, Michelangelo, famous fresco on the Sistine Chapel ceiling, depicting God and Adam. The Kiss, Gustav Klimt, iconic golden-hued embrace, symbolizing love and intimacy. Impression, Sunrise, Claude Monet, the painting that gave the Impressionist movement its name, depicting a sunrise over Le Havre. The Night Watch, Rembrandt van Rijn, dynamic group portrait of Amsterdam's civic militia. Les Demoiselles d'Avignon, Pablo Picasso, revolutionary cubist work, breaking traditional perspective. Liberty Leading the People, Eugene Delacroix, romantic depiction of revolution and freedom. The Garden of Earthly Delights, Hieronymus Bosch, triptych exploring heaven, earth, and hell. Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog, Caspar David Friedrich, romantic landscape evoking awe and introspection. The Two Fridas, Frida Kahlo, double self-portrait exploring identity and emotional struggle. Bal du Moulin de la Galette, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, impressionist depiction of Parisian leisure and dancing. The Hay Wain, John Constable, iconic depiction of the English countryside. The Fighting Temeraire, J.M.W. Turner, evocative sunset of a warship being towed. Christina's World, Andrew Wyeth, iconic American realist painting of longing and isolation. The Son of Man, René Magritte, surrealist painting with an apple obscuring the face. The Blue Boy, Thomas Gainsborough, famous portrait celebrated for color and elegance. Madame X, John Singer Sargent, elegant and controversial portrait of a Parisian socialite. Number 5. Jackson Pollock, abstract expressionist strip painting, iconic in modern art. The Garden of Love, Peter Paul Rubens, Baroque painting celebrating romance and courtly love. Blue Nude, Henry Matisse, Fauvist figure study emphasizing bold color. The Sleeping Gypsy, Henry Rousseau, dreamlike scene with a gypsy and a lion. Wham! Roy Lichtenstein, pop art comic-inspired depiction of aerial combat. Campbell's Soup Cans, Andy Warhol, iconic pop art series challenging consumer culture. Olympia, Edouard Manet, controversial nude portrait challenging 19th century artistic conventions. A Bar at the Folies Burger, Edouard Manet, a complex depiction of modern urban life in Paris. The Raft of the Medusa, Theodore Géricault, dramatic portrayal of shipwreck survivors. The Swing, Jean-Honor Fragonard, Rococo masterpiece full of elegance and playful charm. The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, Rembrandt van Rijn, dramatic biblical seascape painting. Water Lilies, Claude Monet, series focusing on light and reflections in Monet's garden pond. Sunflowers, Vincent van Gogh, vibrant still life showcasing natural beauty. Venus of Urbino, Titian, renowned Renaissance nude portrait. The School of Athens, Raphael, fresco depicting classical philosophers and scholars. Arnolfini portrait, Jan van Eyck, meticulously detailed painting full of symbolism. Las Meninas, Diego Velázquez, complex royal portrait exploring perspective and visual narrative. The Dance, Henry Matisse, Fauvist work with bold color and dynamic movement. The Night Café, Vincent van Gogh, expressionist interior scene conveying intense emotion. The Gulf Stream, Winslow Homer, dramatic depiction of a man struggling at sea, symbolizing human struggle and survival. Lady with an Ermine, Leonardo da Vinci, Cecilia Gallerani with an ermine, showing elegance. Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer I, Gustav Klimt, golden portrait, symbol of Viennese modernism. The Garden at Saint Adresse, Claude Monet, impressionist depiction of a sunlit garden by the sea. Portrait of Dr. Gachet, Vincent van Gogh, emotional portrait capturing the doctor who cared for Van Gogh. The Wedding at Cana, Paolo Verona's, grand Venetian Renaissance banquet scene. The Triumph of Galatea, Raphael, mythological fresco celebrating the sea nymph Galatea. Ophelia, John Everett Millais, pre-Raphaelite masterpiece depicting Shakespeare's tragic character. The Card Players, Paul Cézanne, post-impressionist depiction of Prove peasants playing cards. American Gothic, Grant Wood, iconic depiction of rural American life and Stoic farmers. Composition VII, Wassily Kandinsky, abstract masterpiece of color, form, and emotion. The Milkmaid, Johannes Vermeer, serene domestic scene capturing a Dutch maid at work. Water Lilies and Japanese Bridge, Claude Monet, impressionist series depicting the beauty of Monet's garden pond. Self-portrait with thorn necklace and hummingbird, Frida Kahlo, vivid self-portrait showing pain and resilience. The Old Guitarist, Pablo Picasso, blue period painting depicting a blind, elderly musician. The Calling of Saint Matthew, Caravaggio, dramatic Baroque depiction of Matthew's conversion. The Death of Socrates, Jacques-Louis David, neoclassical portrayal of Socrates' final moments. The Oath of the Hratii, Jacques-Louis David, iconic neoclassical painting emphasizing loyalty and duty. The 3rd of May 1808, Francisco Goya, powerful depiction of the horrors of war. The Angelus, Jean-François Millet, shows two peasants praying in their field at dusk. The Anatomy Lesson of Dr. Nicolaes Tulp, Rembrandt, famous group portrait of a medical lesson. The Ambassadors, Hans Holbein the Younger, detailed double portrait with symbolic objects. Night Hawks, Edward Hopper, urban night scene capturing isolation and mood. Number 61, Rust and Blue, Mark Rothko, abstract color field painting evoking deep emotion. Broadway Boogie Woogie, Piet Mondrian, abstract grid of color inspired by New York City rhythms. Woman with a Parasol, Claude Monet, impressionist portrait of Monet's wife and child in a windy field. Blossoming Almond Tree, Vincent van Gogh, a symbol of hope and new life, painted with bright, delicate beauty. Christ in the House of Martha and Mary, Diego Velázquez, early Velázquez religious painting exploring domestic and spiritual life. The Baptism of Christ, Andrea del Verrocchio and Leonardo da Vinci, early Leonardo collaboration showing Christ's baptism. The Adoration of the Magi, Sandro Botticelli, depicting the biblical scene of the three wise men. Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer II, Gustav Klimt, companion piece to Adele I, Golden Art Nouveau style. The Meeting on the Turret Stairs, Frederick William Burton, a fleeting, secret farewell between lovers, filled with longing and quiet tragedy. Flaming June, Lord Frederick Leighton, glowing in golden sunlight, radiating warmth and serenity. Storm on the Sea of Galilee, Van Rijn Rembrandt, Jesus calming a turbulent sea, capturing fear and divine calm. The Lady of Shalott, John William Waterhouse, symbolizing fate, isolation, and tragic beauty. Napoleon Crossing the Alps, Jacques-Louis David, symbolizing power, ambition, and triumph. The Lunch on the Grass, Edouard Manet, nude woman with clothed men, challenging conventions. Lady Godiva, John Collier, noble woman riding nude, symbolizing courage. The Ninth Wave, Ivan Konstantinovich Ayvazovsky, survivors at sea, symbolizing struggle and hope. Primavera, Sandro Botticelli, mythic celebration of spring and love. The Polar Sea, Caspar David Friedrich, a wreck in ice, showing nature's power. The Astronomer, Johannes Vermeer, van Delft, a scholar seeking truth through the stars. The Dance Class, Hilaire Germain Edgar Degas, ballerinas practicing under a watchful teacher, capturing grace and discipline. The Odalisque, François Boucher, a reclining nude exuding sensuality and Rococo elegance. The Annunciation, Leonardo da Vinci, the angel Gabriel announcing to Mary, capturing divine grace and serenity. View of Toledo, Domnikos Theotokopoulos El Greco, a dramatic cityscape filled with emotion, light, and spiritual power. The Floor Scrapers, Gustavi Caillebotte, laborers at work, capturing realism and urban life. Whistler's Mother, James Whistler, a seated mother, symbolizing family, dignity, and quiet reflection. The Death of Marat, Jacques-Louis David, Marat's assassination, symbolizing revolutionary martyrdom. The Grand Odalisque, Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres, reclining nude, sensual and elegant. Luncheon of the Boating Party, Pierre-Auguste Renoir, friends dining by the river, full of warmth, light, and joy. Boulevard Montmartre, afternoon, sunshine, Camille Jacob Pissarro, sunlit city street, vibrant urban life. Two Tahitian women, Paul Gauguin, portrait of two women, capturing exotic beauty and island life. Paris Street, rainy weather, Gustavi Caillebotte, Parisians walking in rain, capturing urban life and atmosphere. Boulevard des Capucines, Claude Monet, a bustling Paris street, capturing light, movement, and impressionist vibrancy. Madonna della Seggiola, Raffaello Sanzio Raphael, Madonna embracing Christ, radiating warmth, tenderness, and maternal love. Auras, John William Waterhouse, a woman buffeted by the wind, capturing nature's force and emotional intensity.